So a woman goes off with some people. Family can't find her, can't reach her. July 2025, her body is found in the people them house. But here's the thing. It turns out she's been dead for over a year. Sound like a movie. Not true. But this is real life. It happened in Jamaica. I'm Dion Jackson Miller. Thanks for joining me. Time for tea. So this is such a sad story, and it raises a whole heap of questions we haven't got all the answers to yet. So what happened? July 2025, news broke that a dead body had been found in a house in Little London in Westmoreland. Turned out to be the body of 69-year-old Viola Distin. But then we heard she had actually died in December 2023. So try to process that for a moment, and I know a whole heap of questions start to come up. What happened? Why wasn't her death reported? And of course, a big question, where was her family? Now, I did get to interview Hartley Distin, that's a brother of Viola Distin, the woman who died. So what I'm about to tell you is based on his account, all right? This is what he told me. What he told me was that before she went away, Miss Distin, who had an issue walking, used to beg on the streets. Now, he did say there was a nephew overseas who used to send money for her every 2 months, and he said he used to help out too if she asked for help. Not entirely clear if that assistance covered all her needs, or if she was actually in need, why she used to beg on the streets, or if there were some mental health issues there. Not entirely clear. Anyway, Mr. Distin said she used to beg on the streets in Savannah Lamar, and this is where she met this woman who started to help her. He said the woman gave her food and money, and he said his sister told him, she said she meets some people and how they're nice and buying grocery and nobody never treat him so. Now, one of the ladies apparently used to go to Miss Distin's house to help take care of her, but then said it would be easier if Miss Distin would come and live with her. And then it would be easier for her to take care of her. When they came, though, to take away Miss Distin, apparently they wouldn't tell the family exactly where they were going. The family knew they were going to a district called Old Hope, but didn't know the exact address of the place they were taking Miss Distin to. He said one of the things that was said when the caregivers were moving Miss Distin, one of the caregivers said her spirit never take the Distin's elder sister, who apparently was very concerned about what was going on. So he said they left with Miss Distin. Family don't know exactly where they're going. He did say his sister left willingly and didn't appear to be mentally compromised at all. After a few days, though, Mr. Distin said he couldn't reach his sister. He told me they ring her phone, me not get him, it a ring till it stop ring. Now, he actually saw the woman months later in Sav and asked about his sister, and this is what he told me. He said, me ask her, say, want to my sister, me not hear nothing from him, want to his phone, and I take away his phone from him, me not hear nothing, and not tell me which part of Old Hope in there. And he said, the woman say, me not feel worry myself because when me see her again, she a got to walk. That, he said, was in 2023. So this is months now after Miss Distin had left with the woman. I have to say though, it sounds as if at this point Mr. Distin figured he was never going to be seeing his sister again. He told me he thought the people them were using her for ritual, and he told me he thought she was already dead and buried. But then he saw the woman again in December 2024. He asked about his sister again. He said the woman reminded him, you know, go see her till she dey walk again, and still wouldn't tell him where his sister was. Bear in mind though, by this time, Miss Distin had been dead for a year. Now, this whole bizarre story came to light apparently when a relative of one of the women came across the body and called the police. And I'm just trying to imagine that scene. You in somebody's house, a relative's house, a friend's house maybe, and you go into this room, maybe you're wondering what smells so, only to discover not just a body, but a long dead body. I can't even imagine the trauma that caused. And then apparently now the body had been covered up with sheet and tarpaulin and everything. So again, just imagine the scene, imagine the trauma. So there are apparently 2 women who are alleged to have been involved in this. Laverne Wedderburn and Gina Robinson of Old Hope District in Westmoreland. They have been charged. They've been charged with concealment of a corpse, perverting the course of justice, conspiracy to conceal a corpse and conspiracy to prevent the lawful burial of a corpse. Now, the police are saying that after Miss Distin died, that what they did was to sprinkle chemicals and baking soda over the body to try to keep the stench down. I cannot imagine that there is enough baking soda in the world that would keep that stench down. So I can't even imagine how that the house did smell. We also have heard that an autopsy has been completed and that Miss Distin actually died of a heart attack. Now, what we've also heard is that in caution statements given by the women to the police, that they told the police that a pastor living overseas told them to take care of Miss Distin and that he was also sending money to help to take care of her. The police said they don't want to talk to this pastor. So as I said, whole heap of questions here, and I can imagine you have some as well. First question, why didn't the family seek help for her when she was begging on the streets? That sounds like there may have been some mental health issues involved there, but I do have to say I think a lot of families in Jamaica wouldn't either, and that a lot of times that police or mental health workers are only called in if the person starts really acting out and especially being violent. So that doesn't actually surprise me. So there's the issue of how the family allowed her to go off with these people. We do have to remember though, because people get older doesn't mean that they lack competence and capacity and can't make their own decisions. They can still think for themselves, they have agency, and if she wanted to go live with somebody that she apparently felt was treating her well, I don't know that that's something the family could have or should have actually stopped once she was mentally competent to make that decision. The issue, though, of course, is once the family couldn't reach her, what happened there? So when the brother, for instance, would see the woman, ask about his sister and get the brush off because that's what it is, the question, of course, comes up, why you never called police? And I did ask him that. He just said they didn't, and it doesn't sound as if it was ever even considered. No, he did say that the family never stopped looking for Miss Distin. The thing is, though, if a member of your family, especially an older person, she's 69, disappears, you can't reach her, the people supposed to have her not give you no good word about her, that sounds to me like a missing person situation. That sounds to me like an immediate calling in of the police. But as I said, that was never done. So it raises issues as well about the care of older people, the role, the importance of caregivers, and the importance, I think the absolutely critical issue there is that of family oversight. Even if somebody is taking care of your older relative, you have to know what's going on. You have to be able to monitor them. Obviously, you have to keep in touch. And I think for me, that's a huge issue. That's a big takeaway here. What do you think? Comment below. Keep it civil, all right? Remember, like the video, share it with somebody you think might be interested, and of course, subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you know anytime I drop a new video. I'm Dion. Thank you so much for watching. Back to tea.